Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see here, I got my comfy little jacket on because it's cold as hell outside. I don't know how cold it is. It's probably like in the 50s in California, so this is cold for us. So I got my jacket on, we're about to go outside. We're about to get this video started. Alright guys, if you don't know a lot about this car, this right here, my 1993 BMW E36. It's got a 4-cylinder engine in it. It's a beautiful car. I've been driving it every day to work for the past like 3 years maybe. You know, slowly putting some mods on it. You got some taillights on there, some black emblems, got the M3 body kit, style 66 to 17-inch wheels, drilled and slotted brakes, M3 mirrors. Pretty much a replica M3. So we're gonna start off this year right, and we're gonna give this baby some love. As you guys know, we JZ swap pretty much everything we have, everything we can. I collect JZs because you never know when you got a project that's gonna need a new motor, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got a ton of JZs. We're just gonna pick one. Hopefully it's a good one, and we're gonna check it out. I do have one in the works. I got it in the garage already. I already pulled it out of storage. This is the JZ we're gonna be working with. This thing is questionable. I already pulled it apart. I flipped it over. I checked it out. It looks like the rods and the freaking bearings and the pistons are good. So maybe we're just going to take this apart, refresh everything, except the bottom end. We'll leave the bottom end. I'm not really sure. Everything is loose on this motor. Nothing is put together. So it should be pretty easy to take apart. I already ordered a ton of things. I bought the MAF off of a friend. I bought an ECU off of another friend. Yeah, we're going to try to keep this build as OEM as possible. I did get a few goodies for it. I'm ordering a whole full gasket kit for this thing. I'm going to pull off the head, get the head pressure checked and resurfaced. I did order a new core for this OEM turbo. The core is actually, it's the same size, the same everything, but you know, of course, the bearings are going to be new. And this core gets rid of the ceramic turbo wheel. Those should be able to hold up to 25 pounds of boost. That's what the ad states. So these can't really hold any more than like, I don't know, I would say 15, 16 before these turbine wheels start blowing up. Hopefully that will work out. There's a few things we got to source. I want to source a heat shield. I want this build to looking OEM as possible. We're even going to use a stock harness. We're going to go through it, maybe sort it out, get rid of the stuff we don't need. My workbench is all cleaned up. I'm ready to disassemble pretty much that whole motor onto this table, other than the bottom end. But we're going to look at it a little bit better. We're going to check the cylinder walls a little bit better. We're gonna maybe clean it. We're gonna clean the surface, the block surface. Yeah, we got the cams right here, and then on the E36, these puppies require rear sump oil pans. So I got this rear sump oil pan. I actually had to buy a whole nother motor just to get the pan because I was better off actually buying the motor. It was cheaper than buying the pan itself online. So we got rear sump oil pan. I already took it off the motor, and then there's just a ton of boxes of parts. So we're gonna pull all these out. We're gonna line it up all on the table, and we're gonna see what we got. Got the cam caps right here. So we're just gonna take everything, start a little time lapse. We're gonna organize it as best we can, and we're just gonna start taking this motor apart. I gotta say that probably the big pieces like the J pipe and the turbo outlet, and maybe like the turbo itself, and the valve covers we'll kind of put to the side. And all the small stuff we'll start taking apart. We'll pull off the water pump, pull off the power steering pump, stuff like that. We're going to pull all that off and get the head by itself, just the bare head. We'll check out the shims, we'll check out the buckets. We'll make sure this head is even good to take to machine shop. Okay, out of everything in the boxes, I kind of sorted everything. Not really, but I kind of did. So I already know I got the cam caps, the VVTi, solenoid, and then I found in the box, I found the VVTi gear and the exhaust cam gear. We have these plastics, kind of dirty, but we can clean them up. The bottom one looks like it has some cancer, but usually they all do. I got the harmonic balancer. Oh yeah, and I got this plate that bolts to the head. But I don't know, some freaking idiot decided to cut it, so I don't know if that's even good anymore. We got an oil pump, even though there's already one on the motor. We have the serpentine belt tensioner. We have the turbo outlet elbow. The turbo feed and drain right here. Freaking box is just full of bolts. Got the freaking the hooks, the engine crane hooks. Bunch of random nuts and bolts. This one says intake manifold. There's literally two. I don't know what's going on with that. And then finally, something worth using, header bolts. Actually wrote headers on there. Out of all these parts, hopefully we have enough to get this motor together. And of course I got tons of JZ parts. Oh yeah, this box right here got a bunch of cool stuff. So here's obviously the old valve cover gaskets and stuff like that, but we got the bolt-on O2 sensor. We have 2 coil packs, one of them's broken, shout out. We have a MAF right here, I already checked the part numbers, not for a 1J. We have brand new thermostat, and then we have a bunch of these brand new O-rings. I don't know what they're all for, they got part numbers on them, so we'll check those out. And then it looks like this is like an oil feed line. I have no idea if that even goes with this engine kit. And then we got 2 brand new 1JZ timing belts, brand new 1JZ serpentine belt, and then we got 6 brand new spark plugs, so that all came with it too. So I was just kind of putting all that in one box because we won't see that pretty much till the end. So we'll stash that somewhere for now. Basically everything we got here we can use other than the stock head bolts. We're not going to use those. We do have a power steering reservoir. Yeah, and then so I got to sort through those bolts. Rear sump oil pan, I have all the bolts for that in a bag. And now we can kind of get all this stuff out of the way and we can start disassembling the motor. It's all already unbolted. Everything, all the bolts are just loose. Like I'm talking everything, all the bolts are loose. So we can just basically get this right off. We're gonna take the throttle body off, the intake manifold off. We're gonna take the harness off. We're gonna see if we can actually still use this. So we're gonna get my workbench organized and we're gonna start taking apart this engine. Should be quick. Okay guys, we got the whole turbo manifold off. We got the intake manifold off. Pretty much down to a bare head. There's just a couple bolts I gotta pull out. I might pull the studs out. And I just have the valve cover set on the head right now with the cams in there. I was just looking at it, the cams look good. There's one cam journal with some scoring on it, so that's kind of scaring me a little bit, but we're gonna take it in and check it out. So now we are going to take this head to the machine shop, but I gotta go to work, so I will take it maybe tomorrow. Okay guys, welcome back to a slightly modified single car garage. This place is a mess. I should probably do some cleaning. You know, when I get into projects, I get really excited and I just kind of throw everything else to the side. But as you can see, this workbench is looking pretty crazy, but slightly organized. We got the tools right here, the valve covers right here, the intake manifold right here. Got the cams back there. Got the head right here with power steering freaking pump on top of it. We got the spark plugs. I checked them all. They don't look great, but at least they look the same, so that's good. Since I got this motor taken apart, something was telling me that someone planned to do like a rebuild on it or a refresh, and they just kind of got discouraged and threw everything in a box and sold it, which is okay. We inspected it yesterday, as in I inspected it yesterday, and it looks to be in really good shape. The only problem here is I got this motor, I would say, shit, I don't know, 3 years ago. And I even got the motor without the sump on it. So it's been sitting in my friend's garage for, I don't know, maybe a little over a year. It's been sitting in my garage for a year without a sump on it. So my concern is that, you know, the dust or whatever that might be on here could get in the oil. I'm a little bit on the fence about actually just kind of cleaning it up down here and sending it. I put a poll on my Instagram and this is what it looks like. I put looks really good, a rebuild or send. So 46% said send, 54 said don't be lazy. There's some things that you don't want to cheap out on, and this is one of them. So I just got off the phone with my local machine shop. He seems like a really nice guy, and he's willing to help me out. He said he can do everything for a very cheap price, including hot tanking, honing, decking. He even said re-ringing. So he said he could do all that. And I'm pretty excited, so I'm going to take all of this apart and I'm going to bring it to him. Worst comes to worst, if these bearings are bad, I'll say, hey man, is there any way you could throw some new bearings in here too for the pistons and the crank? I do want to get the gasket kit, the oil pump. I'm going to pull all this apart and then I'm going to call the guy at the machine shop and set up an appointment with him. Spent some time this morning pulling the pistons and the bearings out, and I made a nice little organization thing here on this piece of cardboard. All these bearings. Here's the pistons in order from 1 to 6. Now, I was talking to the guy at the machine shop and I was like, hey, these bearings don't look bad, but maybe we're gonna try to work out a price to do all new piston bearings and main bearings. There's no point of having them clean everything and then put the same stuff back in there, because you just don't know, especially since I got this motor in pieces. The pistons look good, so I don't really want to jeopardize like doing all this work and then having it mess up. So I'm gonna have all these. I have the block, and I told the guy, hey, is it okay if I leave the oil pump on and the rear main on and leave the crank on? That way you could pull it all apart yourself. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. So we're gonna try our best to work out a price to get a full cleaning and some new bearings, and I want him to assemble the whole bottom end. So that's the new plan. So we're just gonna bring in these pistons. I'm gonna bring them to him in order. I don't know if he's gonna need them in order, but I'm just gonna take all this stuff, load it in the truck, and bring it to him. We're gonna try our best to get this in the back of the truck by ourselves. I have an idea. I think we can just back it up to the slope of the driveway, and we could probably push the engine stand right in there on a towel and slide the block in. So we're gonna try that. Whew, okay. Wasn't as bad as I thought, but we're gonna head over there. I think it's like a mile or two from my house. So we're just gonna drive really carefully, and hopefully we don't damage anything. But I think we'll be okay. So we're out. We'll see you when we get there. Well guys, we got this motor dropped off here. Very nice guy. So he says he's gonna call me in a few days and we'll see how it looks. Okay guys, that's just about it for this video. I hope you guys are excited as I am about the start of this project, and I just wanted to go swiftly and smoothly as possible. So the engine is now at the machine shop, and while the engine's at the machine shop, we are going to be keeping ourselves busy doing a lot of other things. We got a lot of parts that we need to clean. We got a lot of parts that we need to order. So in the next video, we're just gonna go over everything we have. We're gonna start cleaning it, and we wanna get everything hopefully ready, so when the engine comes back, we can start going straight into assembly and putting the rest of the engine together. So I got a few things on order. I got gaskets on order. I got the turbo rebuild parts on order. I have head studs on order. I got a lot of stuff on order. Anyways, I wanna thank you guys for watching. I, Sir Garza, slightly modified. I'm out. Peace.